Here we go, here we go.
I'll put that there.
Getting higher. Getting higher. Getting higher.
I noticed this guy is
Look at how
delegated
much.
as the
Hold on, we're gonna
spokesman.
let it, because right now the sand is going like this, and it's dancing too. But you know what it's dancing to? What do you think?
Jiggling.
It's doing the popcorn.
Boys are more active.
Oh, wait. Look at Liam's finger. Now look at the jar and tell me where the sand is at. Move back a little bit so other people can see.
It's too hot, Coco.
Okay, Alexis is touching it. Put your finger there, Alexis. Okay, now look. The sand did what?
Went down.
It sank. The water did what, Liam?
Rise.
It rise. And the rocks stayed at the... So we know then that matter occupies space.
I'm so tired of doing it.
Okay, you can stop. You
wanna
can do it. You want to do what? Here's our experiment. So this is what I want you to do.
If you wait como una Coca-Cola en un barro y cuando lo abres it goes up y se cae.
En una Coca-Cola.
No, cuando está en como una botella y cuando se mueve se va para aquí y se
¿Qué
cae.
sube? ¿Qué sube? ¿Qué tiene una Coca-Cola? Tiene
Una tapadera.
y tiene gas. Es agua con gas. Entonces, si le haces así a la Coca-Cola, ¿qué sube? El gas sube.
Y también si se te cae y también los bubbles.
Las burbujas.
Okay. Well, I noticed that certainly the boys are more vocal. They're sitting more around the periphery than, but also more directly confronting the teacher in the sense that they're definitely within her eye gaze, whereas the girls are sort of more clustered around her peripheral vision, except for this one on the side here who doesn't really seem to be participating that much. I was struck by her rather formal intervention, and then when she did intervene, it was in Spanish. This guy
This girl's, she holds her hand up and
yeah,
gets
she holds her hand
right
up, then she
yeah.
finally gets her hand up later on.
Yeah.
This one, this young lady sort of wants to not only participate, but she wants to actually get control of the sort of experimental materials. So I thought that was interesting. So she's sitting right by the teacher, but as both of these are choosing an avenue of participation that's really right next through proximity. And this one, these guys are choosing an avenue of participation through much more sort of being, how should we say, interlocutors. So that's kind of, they position themselves that way. So that's a kind of superficial
I understand better now. You said that initially, that the boys were more confrontational, but they're taking a different interactive stance than are the girls who are surrounding.
I mean, just
teacher.
vis-a-vis her, just very superficially, just vis-a-vis her, her attention posture, her sort of root of vision, whereas this little lady really is at best in her peripheral vision. And this one is also just at best in her peripheral vision, but they engage with her through proximity in a way.
There's a point here where this little girl has her head on her shoulder.
Yes, I saw that.
Right, is holding her leg.
Right.
Which is like, wow.
That's
really
proximity,
sweet,
ladies.
but it's like, that's very, very close.
These two, it's not clear exactly what they're doing. I didn't see much shift in their participation. This one got involved in a little bit. So one of the issues is engagement and just sort of attention.
Mm-hmm.
One of the things that also struck me was the lesson purpose wasn't entirely clear, at least to me. So that's more of a critique of the content of the curriculum unit. It seemed to me like she says, so the conclusion is that, you know, matter takes up space. And my first thought was like, what the fuck? What? How did you get there from, and there's no way these kids, my first thought was there's no way these little kids connected those dots.
Yeah.
But maybe I'll watch it again.
Sure.
Let me see if maybe there's some clues as to how she got to that point, but I can tell you I wasn't going in that space.
Here we go. You ready?
Yep. Yeah.
Okay, here we go. Here we go.
It could be that there was some there's some textual stuff that went beforehand that I'm,
Gotten higher.
yeah, so it's gotten higher. That's probably a reference to something else.
Look at how much. Hold on. We're gonna let it, because right now the sand is going like this. It's dancing too. But you know what it's dancing to?
He shakes his butt.
What do you think?
Jiggly.
It's doing the popcorn.
See, there's another
Look
sort
at
of
Liam's
intertextual
Yeah.
extra reference.
Now look at the jar and tell me where the sand is at. Move back a little bit so other people can see.
It's doing too hot, Coco.
Okay, Alexis is touching it. Put your finger there, Alexis. Okay, now look. The sand did what?
Went down.
It sank. The water did what, Liam?
Rise.
It rise. And the rocks stayed at the
Bottom.
So we know then that matter occupies space.
I'm so tired.
Okay, you can.
You know, I'll take your word for it.
That's the point.
I'll be damned. It was like,
Well, now that I'm watching this 100 times a day, she seems to be doing something that's very directive, but every the end of every clause is provided by the students,
right.
and then she produces a summary that she gives herself. She doesn't
Right,
ask
right.
the students for that summary.
Right,
So does that base of evidence add up to the summary? I think you're saying
absolutely.
not really.
Not really. Not at all. I mean, this one came out of the blue, and if actually go back just a second, I'm sure you can see, we might be able to see a couple of blank stares here, where you get a, because I've looked at science classrooms,
I know you have.
and
Know then that matter occupies space.
well, she's not giving up. She's got her agenda right there with her hand, and
She's going to bring a Coca-Cola analogy.
she's going to bring the
This is
Coca-Cola.
which is
That's
what
what.
it's- yeah,
that's where this is going,
waiting
and
to
that's her
deliver
agenda.
Coca-Cola.
The matter
Right.
occupies space. If that was the takeaway, it may have been taken away by somebody else, but not by these kids.
So her face is very visible, the girl who's lying down
Right.
closest to the teacher's right.
Right.
And she kind of, her mouth is kind of, and her head kind of comes up. I don't know.
I think she is interested in, she was following the actual sort of organization of the actual experiment. So she, one of the reasons it's clear now, I see in second time watching, that one of the reasons why she positioned herself right there was not only to be close to the teacher, but so she could be close to this stuff. Because she is somebody who really wants to get control, or at least engage with this topic through manipulation of these objects. This little guy too is also really interested in that. She may be competing with him a little bit.
Yeah, they both provide a finger point that's held for long stretches
That's
of time.
right.
Him first and then her second.
And these guys are trying, since they're much more on the periphery, I can't really tell from the video how far away they are. We have to do from the camera, but I get a sense that these two little guys are more active, and one of their ways of getting attention, given how far away they are from her, may be to just get action kinetically by being much more active. I think this young lady is probably just plain kind of not as engaged. And that may be worth paying attention to at some point. This young lady, I think, is, let me look at the transcript here. When it's like in a bottle and when you open it, it goes through here, it falls, yeah, it goes up. It has a lid and it has gas. Water is gas, and because oh, that's the teacher. It falls like, it will explode like this. Kaboo. So I think one of the things that she's doing, I think she does seem to understand some English. So this isn't about necessarily competence. It's about it's about getting control of the teacher's attention through Spanish.
Yeah.
Although I can't prove that for sure.
So there's an alternation of Spanish and English.
Ms. Guevara, cuando, if you wiggle, como Coca-Cola es un bottle, cuando lo abres, it goes up. And I think one of the things that she's doing here is she may be trying to get this teacher's attention through speaking Spanish. And she may be one of the more competent of this group, although I can't tell that for sure. So that's a couple of things. You know, one of the things that also struck me on seeing this this second time was all of the kind of intertextual, extra textual references. That there were a number of things that were clearly a reference to discourses that were outside of this video.
Yeah. So there's dancing.
The dancing.
There's popcorn.
Popcorn.
There's jiggling, whatever jiggling means.
Jiggling has an extra textual reference, though.
Right. And then the Coca-Cola, which the child won in the transcript provides. Top two.
Yeah.
Well.
So this is fun though. I mean, it's. I did think though that logically and sort of experientially, not all the dots were connected here from a pedagogical standpoint. I mean, this whole thing about matter taking up space came in from outer space.
Okay, you can stop.
What was that about? You can stop.
I think it's stopping the holding of a point, maybe. Because I
Okay,
think
you can stop.
this boy has been holding it.
Okay.
And she said, look where his finger is, though.
That's right.
But that she may be releasing that role for him.
I want to do it.
He doesn't.
You want to do what?
So she wants to
Here's our
participate.
experiment. So this is what I want you to do.
Si yo hueco como una Coca-Cola en un bar y cuando lo abres it goes up y se cae.
¿En una Coca-Cola?
No, cuando está en como una botella y cuando lo mueves.
Who's got that guy? I want to see how that little kid moves.
You're looking at this guy?
Yeah, but I just wonder what happens how the other kids, when she finally gets control of her attention, then what happens to the attention of these other little kids? Because one of the, I don't know if you had kids.
I have, yeah, too, yeah.
And when they're this age, a lot of what the sort of political economy of interaction is all about is getting control of their attention.
Yeah.
So they've already backed off. Let's see, where did they start? See, okay, so he's way in close now, but then she finally gets ready.
Si yo hueco como una Coca-Cola en un bar y cuando lo abres it goes up y se cae.
¿En una Coca-Cola?
Se cae, she goes.
And then down.
And then
Is that what that means?
Mhm,
Yeah.
I think so. But se cae, yeah, and then it falls in a Coca-Cola. It's like in a bottle. It's true. I don't quite get that either. And, oh, I think what she means is it goes up and it falls.
So I was thinking, so if we had a Coke bottle with a cap screwed on tight and we shook it
Yeah.
and we started to release it, the foam would rise to
Right.
the top, and if you cinched it, it would fall again.
It's interesting.
So there's a rising and falling of the bubbles
I think.
that
Could
may be what she's,
Mhm.
that's kind of been,
It's like when it's in a bottle, and when you open it, it goes through here. Let me see what here is.
Bottom, y cuando lo abres it goes up y se
like when you look
cae.
at the bottle.
¿En una Coca-Cola?
No, cuando está en como una botella y cuando lo mueves se va para aquí y se
Le
cae.
sube, le sube. ¿Qué tiene una Coca-Cola?
I like it a lot that she has taken her Coca-Cola demonstration onto this apparatus, because it's clear that she's trying to use her experience of a Coca-Cola to understand what's going on
Yeah.
in the alternating levels of material in
Yeah.
the
So
jar.
when you open, and I think so I wonder if by wiggle she meant shake, like what we would say shake. If you wiggle like a Coca-Cola in a bottle, yeah, maybe it foams up, and you open it, it goes up, and so it does foam up, and then it falls down. In a Coca-Cola? No, it's like in a bottle. And when you like open it, it goes through here, and then it falls, right? It goes up. What does a Coca-Cola have? It has, which child is that? Child 2, a lid. Yeah, see, so the lid is the thing.
You can control the
You
phenomenon.
can control the
Right.
phenomenon.
Right. And she does. That's not what the teacher's going for.
Well, but then she picks it up, it looks like here, next one, and it has gas. It's water with gas. So then if you go like this, so zhup, 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 what goes up? The gas goes up, and it falls. It will explode like this. Who's that? Oh,
That's
which
another
one?
child.
Which kid was that?
It could be this guy.
Although
No, cuando está en como una botella y cuando lo mueves se va para aquí.
She's still got her hand up.
Le sube. ¿Qué tiene una Coca-Cola? Tiene
Una tapadera.
y tiene gas. Es agua con gas. Entonces, si le haces así a la Coca-Cola, ¿qué sube? El gas sube.
Y también se te cae y después los bubbles.
Las burbujas, ¿ok?
Las burbujas. Yeah. Okay. Cool. So that's yeah, that's interesting. Though it's almost as though what she's talking about is sort of the displacement of matter, whereas this point about gas, which is not, I think, part of her agenda,
I don't think so. No. Yeah.
part of her scientific agenda.
She kind of invites it with popcorn, a little bit, potentially. So you're changing the state of the kernel,
Right.
and gas is released from the kernel, which explodes the kernel,
Yeah.
which is like popping the top off of
Exactly.
Coca-Cola.
Exactly.
So it's in a way, it's like it's a misaligned analogy for the physical process.
So in a way, she kind of loses control of the topic.
Fascinating.
Yeah. Let's see. Let me see. I just want to see how she introduces it again.
Here we go.
So there.
Gotten higher. Getting higher. It's high.
Look at how much. Hold on, we're gonna let it, because right now the sand is going like this, it's dancing too. But you know,
It's dancing too. See, these guys are dancing. There's some reference to something else.
I think she starts to describe this animated process, and she looks over, and he's started to wiggle.
Oh, just like.
And it's dancing too. So she sort of allocates
hold
the.
on, we're gonna let it, because right now the sand is going like this, it's dancing too. But you know what it's
Oh,
dancing?
yeah. Let's see. He does a little
I don't know
cha-cha
whether
with his hips
Before
there.
or after, but that's a good catch by her to be able to use that. It's
Yeah,
really wonderful.
What do you think?
He's
Jiggling.
banging into him. Jiggling. So she picks up on his jiggling,
It's doing the popcorn.
doing the popcorn. Okay.
And then
So
this
that's a
really
dance, I think.
sharp laughter
Yeah.
which is kind of a break. As an intertextual piece, it's sort of possibly offered as not serious.
Yeah, but also it looks like she's holding eye gaze, suggesting that they had a shared, maybe, it's a shared intertextual reference, that these two...
So maybe there is a dance that they know together called the popcorn elsewhere, right?
Right.
Oh, wait. Look, Liam's finger.
So one thing she does is she draws him in by referring to his activity.
Yeah. And she's been waiting. She's been waiting for it to settle.
Mm-hmm.
And so when she goes through this other thing with the popcorn, then she looks back and she goes, "Oh, wait," because it's now ready to see the thing she wants them to see. I'm assuming. I don't know what you can see in there.
Look at the jar and tell me where the sand is at. Move back a little bit so other people can see. Okay, Alexis is touching it. Put your finger there, Alexis. Okay, now look. The sand did what?
Okay. So she's cueing them, being pretty directive. I want to see how
Went down.
It sank. The water did what, Liam?
Rise.
It rise. And the rocks stayed at the
Bottom.
So we...
somebody else says at the top.
Oh, did they really?
A little bit.
That's great.
I'm trying to figure out what these kids over here on the side are doing and how they are engaging with all of this. She also, she has her hand up for a while, this child number 2.
Yeah.
And I'm wondering whether she sees it and ignores it, or maybe something else is going on. I'm just wondering.
Oh, then, that matter
See, she notices that child's hand and she keeps going.
Yeah.
by space.
And then she really gives her
Okay, you
whole
can stop.
attention to it.
Okay, so then she gives her a chance,
Yeah.
even though her hand's up.
Yeah,
She,
right.
So her demand for attention trumps her.
What do you think she's just asked? What she's been just asked for?
Let's go back.
'Cause she's kind of mysterious to me.
Yeah, I think she asked for, can she dump the stuff in again or something like that. I think she wants to watch.
So we know then that matter occupies space.
I'm so tired of doing this.
Okay, you can stop. You can do it.
Yeah,
Just
see,
can I
she said,
do
can
it?
I do it? Right.
But I think what she ends up doing is she ends up holding his point in the same place for a very long time.
Very long time.
Right,
And
when it's not relevant to
it's
the
not
ongoing
really,
conversation, right.
but I think it's a way of just saying, I'm involved.
Yeah,
I'm engaged
yeah.
with this experiment.
So she's getting clearer to me.
Yeah. So somebody just got up and went off somewhere.
Yes.
So I don't know who that was, but
You want to do what? Here's our experiment. So this is what I want you to do.
Si yo veo como una Coca-Cola en un bar,
so she looks at her watch immediately when she starts talking.
y cuando lo abre se goes up y se cae.
So when she says,
En
this
una
is your
Coca-Cola.
experiment,
No,
Back here.
she says, this is our experiment, this is what I want you to do. I wonder if she's looked at her
referring to
watch,
some
but
down
she's
the- okay.
thinking, you're about to go to your table and do
And
this.
do this, yeah.
Yeah.
So there's a,
Curious about
what is this? Judy Irving calls them shadow conversations, where you foreshadow a conversation that is about to unfold.
that. Okay.
so tired of doing this.
Okay, you can stop.
Okay,
I
what?
You
want
can
to
do
do it.
You want to do what? Here's our experiment. So this is what I want you to do.
Si yo veo como una Coca-Cola en un bar y cuando lo abre se goes up y se cae.
En una Coca-Cola.
No, cuando está
So he's banging on his.
como una botella y cuando lo mueve se va para aquí y se
Que
cae.
sube. ¿Qué tiene una Coca-Cola? Tiene
Una tapadera.
y tiene gas. Es agua con gas.
I think you're
Entonces, si
reading
le haces
it
así a la
wrong.
Coca-Cola,
Who is-
¿qué sube?
These boys,
Hey,
I think they've all got the same sheet of paper, it's got the same graphical layout.
Las
On each
burbujas.
side.
Okay, this is what I want you to do.
I think it does.
Okay, so she's about to. This is
She's
what I
about to
want you to
send
do.
them
You're
off
right.
to do something, yeah.
She's about to.
And I bet that paper is a description of what they're going to
Yeah,
go do.
I bet that's right. And I don't know who this person is. Sometimes it's interesting to look at these folks who are on the margins
Mm-hmm.
and figure out the points at which they engage and the points at which they feel or they're sort of most marginal to
Yeah.
the attention. And trying to kind of look at see if little side conversations develop.
Mhm.
You get clues to sort of possible relationships that already exist between some of these folks. Yeah, it's fun. It's if we had more time, I'd also listen. It looks like
We're probably at the end.
we're
yeah.
at the end, but I'd listen to this without sound and see. Can I just listen?
Yeah.
I'm going to turn the sound off and just look at it real quickly. Yeah, she really hugs her.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, when there's something to be seen, this girl in the periphery, she's really struggling to get in and get a look.
I wonder what her English language skills are. She may be neither Spanish nor English speaker.
You know, they don't all have the same sheet of paper.
Huh.
Some of them have the same sheet of paper.
Yep, there she points, this little girl.
Mm-hmm.
That's her form of participation there.
Yeah, she sort of smiles and looks over
Uh-huh.
at her mates, you know,
Yep.
I'm doing it.
Yeah.
I think this extended Coca-Cola thing is kind of extraordinary. Like, I think that this girl has really brought a worked out comparative thing
A
to
comparative
the table, right? And it doesn't like really pan out the way the science lesson intends, but she
Exactly.
brings it. I mean,
She did.
really
She
waits
totally
for
did.
it, and she does it completely.
She did.
She
Yeah,
even repairs or corrects the teacher's misunderstanding
did.
of what she
She
did.
did.
And she maps it physically onto the jar.
She really did.
Which
That was
is
really, that was
impressive.
actually really impressive.
Yeah.
More I think about it, even though it isn't quite relevant to what the teacher was trying to do,
Yeah.
her thing is actually fairly well self-contained.
Well, that's a lot of fun.
That was great.
Wonderful.